Thank you for coming today. First question, what is Idle in Action?
Idle in Action is about taking a stand against those drivers who just park up their cars on the curbside, on our high streets and leave the engines on. And what's really bad about that is that those vehicles largely, unless it's a hybrid or an electrical car, emit these toxic, poisonous fumes that are sending too many of our young people into hospital. 4,500 young children are going into hospital every year here in the borough, the highest in the country, but also over 100 people are dying each year because of the bad air quality. So what we are doing through this campaign, through this anti-idling action, is to educate and raise awareness, particularly amongst drivers. Ideally, you should be walking and cycling to wherever you need to get to because things aren't that far away. But if you are driving and you have parked up, please switch off the engine because all of us have a responsibility to keep the air in Newham clean and breathable to keep Newham's residents safe.
The second question is, how are you going to get the message out?
We're getting the message out through a whole range of ways, through advertising, marketing, engaging with our young people because they've got a huge amount of influence through Pester Power with parents or adults in their lives who have cars. But it's also directly engaging with car owners through communications that the council sends out to them and through policies that we've introduced, including the emissions-based parking scheme. We're trying to teach people and educate them about the benefits of less polluting or non-polluting cars like electric and hybrid.
Thank you for that. Why is it important to you?
It's important to me as someone who's grown up in the borough, outside of the fact that I'm the Mayor of Newham, and the reason it's important to me is because every single year 4,500 children and young people are hospitalised because of bad quality air in our borough, the air that we breathe, and these young kids are going into hospital with really serious respiratory conditions such as asthma. And during this time of COVID-19, where we know that respiratory conditions can really expose and increase your vulnerability and risks to COVID-19, we've really got to reduce the toxic air quality that exists in this borough and has existed for way too long. Several parts of Newham, our neighbourhoods where young kids go to school, we have levels of pollutant air that's above World Health Organization limits. So we've got to do everything that we can to maximise making Newham into a healthier and safer borough for all of our residents and healthier in the context of the air that we breathe.
My next question is, how do you get involved?
So people can sign up. If you're a young person and you're interested in being part of the Idling Action movement and campaign, sign up through contacting your youth worker or the youth empowerment team. You can also find out stuff about our Newham Climate Emergency Now actions, of which anti-idling is one really important campaign. So you can get as much information on the website, sign up, and we'll be working with you to mobilise this big movement of residents, young people, old, in between, to be part of stopping cars just sitting there and pumping out these really poisonous, toxic fumes.
What has the council done to tackle the issue?
So we've introduced a whole raft of policies and actions in order to tackle the issue of really bad air quality here in the borough, and the idling week and the actions that we want to be taking that's starting up very soon follows a whole series of actions such as introducing low traffic neighbourhoods, healthy streets around schools for young kids to be walking or cycling to school without the danger of cars. We have introduced an emissions-based parking permit system whereby car owners are now charged based on the emissions output of their vehicles. The more polluting it is, the more rightly, in a social justice way, they should be contributing to all the investment that we need with regards to expanding our electrical charge points for the residents that will start converting to hybrid or electrical cars. And we're also working really closely with schools and working closely with our young people to get them to understand better the importance of anti-idling actions and the campaign that's going to be coming up during the Anti-Idling Action Week. All the promises that we made to the young people of Newham back in April 2019 when the whole council signed up to the Climate Emergency Declaration. And as you know, we are committed to reducing our carbon emissions, getting to carbon neutral by 2030 and carbon zero by 2050. And this year is a really important year because COP26 is happening in the UK, in Scotland. We'll have the world descending. A borough like Newham can be a showcase for the rest of London and the rest of the country about all the things that we are doing to change people's attitudes, change people's behaviours, mobilise young people to be part of that pioneering generation that are teaching us old adults what actually needs to be done to get the planet in order.
Okay, so finally, what is your message to Newham?
My message to Newham, particularly the young people of Newham, is please take a stand, please join with me and with the rest of Cabinet and the Council to get your voices heard, because too often young people in this debate and discussion about climate emergency, air quality, their voices are marginalised and not heard, and we absolutely need to hear the voices of young people because it's their safety and it's their future and the future of the borough that they will eventually lead that we need to protect and preserve for the health, well-being and happiness of all residents, both young and old. And my message to all Newham residents is engines off, every stop.